Alright guys, hello YouTube. You may hear some noise going on in the background. It is a holiday here in Colombia, South America. So the gyms are never open on holidays, at least the ones we have went to. So we're working at the house again today. And so Joe's going to do some shoulder stuff, some push-ups. I'm not going to bother to move the camera around. So when you see him get down here, there's a mat down here. You'll know he's going to be doing push-ups. There's no tomfoolery going on around here. And as always, I'll give you a story. And I got kind of a doozy today of do's and don'ts online. The ridiculous stuff, being hypocritical, and the insanity of YouTube or social media in general. A little story for you. I don't know what all Joe's going to do here. We broke the reflex bag. He snapped the steel spring on it. I haven't got the other arm put on this thing. It's over here yet. So we're having a day with no bag work, which is highly unusual here. There's always bag work here. So, but today no bag work. And as he moves along, I'm going to sit and drink some coffee mixed with some milk and cocoa. And if you hadn't been getting on the cocoa kick, get on it. A lot of people are selling cocoa online and talking about the health benefits of it, bioflavonoids and things like that. I just knew it was correct and said, hey, I know this. And how did I know it? Because I'm an old man. And when I was a little boy, all the old people drank cocoa every day. The old Hershey's that came in these big brown things, I don't know if they still make them like that, the little round seal on it. So anyway, they'd put cocoa in with some milk, and they would not put sugar in it. And my grandma Allen used to make it for me here and there when we'd visit her house. And I would sit and make sure I drank it all, and it never got through my head there's going to be no sugar in this cocoa. But she'd put the saucer and the cup down, and I always would drink that down anyway from my grandma Allen because I loved her. So get the cocoa to do you good. This is really, it's not a miracle thing, but it's really made me feel a lot better. So Joe will get started, and I'm going to tell you what I woke up to this morning and give you a little bit of the story at the risk and the not wanting to make people upset, but you just give the story. So you just go through the gamut of what you want to do, Joe. Just lower the reps if that's too much weight. We're always doing things that involve the shoulders. And if you're in boxing and you're not doing things that involve the shoulders and the chest daily, you're going to be lacking some serious power, strength, and in all probability, speed as well. So you need to work your shoulders a lot. And again, when Joe goes down, you won't see him, but he'll be doing push-ups down here. And you want me to move this thing this way? All right. I kind of put his mat wrong. I'm going to move it this way. All right. We're going to talk about autism for a moment. Autism is an ugly thing. There are a plethora of reasons why autism and other conditions that are even worse are happening so frequently today. And I'm going to go over a few of those, and I'm going to give you kind of a little story backing it up in one instance. Why the, uh, back when I was a young man, but I was a man, there was this high school going into college and Boston College great quarterback. His name was Doug Flutie. You could look at Doug Flutie. We all knew to look at him as young men. Now I was well out of teenage years by the time Doug Flutie came about, but you can go look this guy up. We all looked at him and said, there's something that you couldn't put on it. He's a handsome guy, but it's something you couldn't put on it. And we knew something was wrong with him. And it turns out he had, I'm not sure if it's an autistic child. I don't know the degrees of this, but I believe it was something on the range of spectrums, if you will, being ignorant to it as I am. It was worse than being like mildly autistic or normal autism. It was just a real bad way. But anyway, he had a kid that had this pretty bad, and I believe he still got the kid, and God bless that boy, and that boy would be a full adult grown man, maybe in his 30s, maybe going into his 40s right now. Very famous quarterback, especially collegiately, a great guy. But you can kind of look at some people, and we've gotten away from common sense to where you can't even talk or say anything any longer. And it's going to be to the point that we can't prevent things such as autism, cancer, or other types of things because we can't talk about them any longer. And that is what we're going through now is a reverse woke. And I'm just going to tag on this for a second. And the reverse woke is like, you used to be able to go out here and label everybody Nazis. Now you can't say anything about a Jewish person or Israel. So you've got woke laws that go, and we need to get back to freedom of speech. And of course, freedom of speech can be nasty for us all. Heck, I got mad at somebody the other day where I literally, at damn near 100, wanted to fight the guy. Still do. And that's where speech can be corrected with attitude adjustments. And we need people around us that if we can't attitude adjust, that our friends attempt to attitude adjust for us. And if we're all walking around worried about what we say, a lot of this ugly stuff won't get said. So this is going to wrap up into a not so neatly tightened and ribboned package by the time I finish with it. So, Guy, watch online because I'm always watching programs online that are in Western civilization that are calling out woke leftism, and now, unfortunately, we have woken rightism. So anyway, the channel I'm referring to, this guy goes around, I believe it's Manchester in England, and he so Joe will be doing, I don't know how many push-ups here. I'm just going to get on Joe for a second, and then I'll hop off of it. And when you do the push-ups, when you're doing shoulder work, and you know, we do military presses. Yesterday when Joe finished everything, he did 3 sets of military presses with high weight on it. And we didn't have that on the video. So we're always working shoulders. Recuperation time is on Saturdays and Sundays for body elements. So, and if he does anything on Saturdays, mostly it's running. To get back on the point here of the story, this gentleman, whom is a friend of someone whom we just simply adore, first thing I do, generally I get hit with the crazy when I first wake up. And I woke up, and, not when I first wake up, but when I first get online, which is every morning, because I check us out to see, you know, has anybody been ugly to us and things like that. I always check them because people don't know how to behave themselves online. So anyway, get online. First thing I see up there is a friend of a friend. So I'm like, oh, let me go check this out. So I go and check the guy out. Excuse me, that's the receipt. So I go over there, and this guy is mustering on Charlie Veach, a channel I watch because he is showing the falling down of Manchester and other areas in England due to illegal and mass legal immigration into the UK and the problems associated with it, the other moral decaying in society, and drug usage in parks right next to infant children that are playing in the grass. In other words, he goes out and videos the sick, psycho stuff. And I like it when that stuff gets pointed out. But there's a few people that seem to have a problem with people like that. And they just sit and wait, seems like, for a problem to happen. And here I'm not naming no names, but I am certainly not scared of the individual that did this to Charlie Veach. Trust me, it wouldn't take a lot to outsmart this guy and defeat him very quickly at just about anything known to man. And I really don't want to be ugly to him so I'm not naming him because I think something's wrong with this guy. You can take one look at him and you could see that he would have a child that would have some problems. Now, you can't, it's not in all the cases, and maybe it's probably in the minority of cases of autism and other types of disabilities and things, see. Maybe a tiny minority, but some people you can dead look at and just with sighting them and not listening to them for a minute, you say to yourself, something is wrong. And God gives us all that. And if we have the more uncloudy our mind is, the better we can see. So anyway, to get on the autism thing, Charlie Veach is going through videoing. Now, the video was taken out of context. And how do I know that? Because the guy that put the video up started raising autistic hell, put the video up out of context. But I'm going to tell you what I saw. There's a woman, maybe she's 5'1" to 5'5" tall, and beside her looks to be a 6'2" to 6'6" young man standing beside her. And when I say young man, not a teenager, a man that is younger. yelling and kind of cursing is what it sounded like to me, looking like he's fixing to get violent with the woman. So Charlie Veitch, who is holding the camera, approaches the lady. Are you okay, ma'am? Are you okay? And I guess because I still did not hear the words out of the woman, that maybe this was the mother of the young man, the big young man, and she was trying to control her son, whom was having an episode or something. And these things happen. And if you go to Bob's Boxing Corner on Instagram, he's got a whole channel. And from his area, and he's an Englishman, he lives in England, he helps all types of autistic, learning disability children, kids with all sorts of problems and troubles through boxing. And he's a good guy, and he has a autistic child. And I don't think he would have gotten really, really angered or flipped out had somebody walked up to his wife, whom I know of, and asked her, hey, look, are you okay, ma'am? If their son, who is a big, strong, powerful young man himself, was going crazy and yelling and cursing or that type of attitude towards her, I don't think the father would have a problem, one, for somebody walking up and asking, are you okay? Now, as far as the filming part goes, I guess Charlie Veitch did put that online. But the problem here is that the lunatic that is the father of an autistic child himself copied the video and put it online himself for the world to see, this mother and her autistic young man's son. So, do y'all get the irony in that? He's like, if somebody come up with a camera and asked me if I was okay, then I'd get violent with them, this guy says on the video that I saw this morning. So I know that the guy's not right. The daddy is not right in the head. And there's just something not right with him. And that's why I brought up Doug Flutie. Because these things can visually and audibly be picked up on when we're not even looking from certain individuals, that there's a problem here. There's a beat skipped here. And I don't mean this in an ugly way. It's just, it's observable science. And so I do not mean it in any ugly way. But he himself, whom is, I would get violent with Charlie Veitch. It would be violence. And the idiot himself putting up the video of the mother and the young man that has so offended the guy who put it up as the father of an autistic child, but yet he puts the video up himself and has the audacity to talk about, oh, you're trying to earn money off YouTube, yet he has a monetized channel and is putting up a video copy of Charlie Veitch. So the point I'm trying to get at here is, folks, is people aren't thinking. And of course, if you don't know these people, the story may not be that interesting to you, but I do know them, know of them. And the hypocrisy and the quickness that individuals are willing to attack, call out, or go after others online without even thinking and stopping and slowing down to think about what they are actually doing online, the ignorance and the special needs that are within a lot of these online brains is astounding. The degrees to which they will be willing to go to online attack somebody else. But as far as him attacking Charlie Veitch, it wouldn't work out too well for him, because that guy has bodyguards around him now. And the last week was a holiday, I believe, in England, and he had more than the two usual that goes with him. But the nonsense of that, I would get violent, and yet you yourself actually has put the video up that has just crushed you into the ground because you have an autistic child yourself. Yet you put the video up of the other mother who has the autistic child. You put that video up online, garnering views and things off of that. And mentioning Charlie Veitch, who has a way bigger YouTube channel, so it'll garner more views to him. And this is not my viewpoint on it. That is what happens when people try to capitalize on a disability that their child has. That's what you can easily see in situations like that. And unfortunately, and I've had several people that live in England telling me, this guy right here is trying to capitalize on the fact that he has an autistic child. And I'm trying to brush these people off. I've had phone conversations with these people, several of them hours at a time on the telephone with them. And they're like, oh, well, we like the one guy, the guy that you like a lot, we really like. But the other guy, so the guy I really like will be watching this video. He'll know who I'm talking about. I don't know if he'll get the direction I'm coming from with it or not. Because this gentleman already was, I won't go into it, but the thing I'm telling you is, don't stand up. If Joe was born with no legs, and I find a video online where another man went up to another guy's son and was making fun of the other guy's son because he had no legs, and I clipped that off and put that up online and said, see this? Look, see this? I would have no regard for that boy, the other boy that had no legs, nor would I have any regard for the dad that had the boy with no legs. And that's the same as this sumbitch. And it's either you something defective in the mind, which I know it is, or you just plain well mean and debaucherous your damn self. And it's probably a combination of both things, but we're not going to be friendly with anybody that's going to do anything like that. So be careful what you're doing online, because somebody will roll along. Maybe you're not throwing them through a guilt trip. And if you've done something like I just described to you, you have a son with no legs, and the father or the mother of another child, and they have their child that has no legs, and someone's making fun of them, and you clip that off and you put that online with the other parent on there. Don't come to us telling us that you feel sorry for the mother or the father of the fellow parents that have children with no legs, because that'd be hog shit. It's what that'd be. And that's what this kid did in autism, because he's got an autistic child. And so I am buying into what people have been telling me about this guy. And it's just ridiculous to threaten. But look, I get on here and I tell people all the time, I'll slap the taste buds out your damn mouth. I don't have no problem doing that if somebody has come and offended us or offended personal friends that we have. But I'm not going to go out and clip and paste and drag other people into it to bring more embarrassment upon them. There's no way. We don't play ball like that. It takes a moronic and an idiotic mind and thought process to do crazy things like that. And it's not that this gentleman's been popped in the head one too many times. You get popped in the head one too many times, maybe later on you start getting forgetful or something, but it's not just going to make you moronic or idiotic in mind. Might slow down your thought processes, but as again, I saw with this guy, I seen this from day one with this guy. I said, he's got that Doug Flutie thing going on. Well, I said, something ain't right with him. And voila, I hear later, like I did in the case of Doug Flutie, they have an autistic child. And I don't mean that in any ugliness. No ugliness at all, but parading sick children around, disabled children around. If you, there's just certain things that are getting left behind in this world. We kind of need bullies in school systems. It keeps people in check and it makes other young boys become men. And develops protectors in some boys to protect their friends and loyalty and a whole host of things. But see, you can't talk today and you can't say anything. You can't even ask anyone if they need help. Or you have an idiot like this guy come aboard. And this would be the same idiot that if a woman were getting slashed up on a bus and another guy came and slashed the slasher to protect the innocent woman, this would be the same kind of idiot that would demand that the guy that protected the woman also that he go to prison. Same kind of mindset, and it's sick. And it's on both sides, left and right. And I happen to believe this guy's a lefty loony. And probably, truth be known, he don't like it that Charlie Veitch is going around in Manchester in the public park and saying, look at these miscreants over here getting drunk every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where these good parents cannot even take little children to the park because of the addicts and the drunks and the miscreants. And I want that to be pointed out. And I'm glad people in England are getting sick of it. Glad people in the United States are getting sick of it. And hope the diseased minds that are woke left and woke right get obliterated in the process, because we don't need that. This world is just begging to offend each and every one of us, and we've got to be able to take a degree of it. And adding to the embarrassment of someone or another family and talk about how tough you are and you would defend them is not the way to do it. So you don't think either, right? Yeah. Joe's sitting here doing his hands like this, y'all. He's sitting here agreeing with me, but I don't think the camera picked him up. But that's just the way we are, folks. 14, 15. And we're always thinking around here. So, we are not above some hypocrisy going on in around us. We are not above almost every type of sinful nature you can come up to think about it. We are fall short every day around here, but certain things are so moronically out of whack that you have to call it out when you see it. And that was one of them. And Folks, I'm not trying to be ugly here, but when I was a kid, in our science books, it would have different degrees of morons and other names that I can't even mention online, but they were the truthful designated name given to groups of people and would show you what they can typically look like, mostly in worst possible case scenarios. And half the people you see online and we see in our daily lives look like these people in these textbooks, and we can't even educate ourselves for what to look out for and what to be careful of, because can't nobody talk. See, you can't tell the truth on nothing no more. And my dad's bestest friend owned a bank that ended up being First Union National Bank, folks. That used to be a big bank. What's the bank called today? I believe it's still called Wells Fargo after they all conglomerated there. Wells Fargo. And this cat, the president, not of Wells Fargo, but a bank that ended up being Wells Fargo later, very successful guy, he had an autistic little girl. And we all got together. We went to the beach every weekend together. This was before my dad died. We had a great life running around in Cadillacs and Chrysler New Yorkers, going to the beach every weekend, going to palatial mountain estates in the mountains. I mean, I had a good life when I was real young, or younger, before I was 11. And anyway, one of his children was heavily autistic, and she came in one time, and it'll always be remembered because even the family photo album that I have given Joe with pictures of me when I was a baby, pictures of all of us, his grandparents, us all, and pictures of the bank president, my dad's friend, where they wrote a nice thing. But that year that was given, and the first photos went in that album, Christmas photos. Her name was Penny. She came in and she grabbed a hold of the Christmas tree and knocked it down. And she didn't mean to do it. She just somehow or another lost her balance and went to grab it, and it came down with her. And we got it up, and there was no harm, no foul. It was no big deal. And but we always laughed about that. Now, fast forward 50 years from that incident. My mother's still living, and my mother is, hey, I'm over at their house, or I want to go over there. Will you take me over there? I'm like, sure, I will. We go over there. They're still living. The man that was best friends with my dad, his wife, everybody in the family, they all come in to see me and Mom. And oh my God, we ain't seen you in 40 years or since Jim died. And they have Penny with her, and she's an older lady, but she's still kicking just fine. And you know what she thought? She thought I was her baby. And I had to sit down and spend a lot of time with her. And I did that because I loved her and I wanted to do it. But we were still laughing about that Christmas tree. And people weren't getting bent out of shape. And people weren't getting offended, because Penny is a human being as well. And get that through your head. We all have funny moments. We all have crazy moments. We all get videoed in occasions. If you're under 30, you've grew up in a world with nothing but videos. So get off of that. That is sick, to get so bent to where can't nobody talk around you because poor pitiful you. And it goes from everything to skin color to, eating at McDonald's 5 times a week and being 5'5" and 300 pounds, but yet, it's not a problem. Be fat, beautiful, and all that. No, it's not good for you. But see, here we can't talk. See, and therefore we have to look at a bunch of unattractive women when we're watching a bathing suit contest because you got to put the fat ones in, and things like that. And the world is getting bland and bad, and that's the point I'm coming to. Even in boxing, I've seen several tournaments, Boxing USA. You got one little kid here. Oh my God, I feel sorry for him. He's, darker skin color and he's been abused and he's this. And then get in there with another kid. It could be a black kid, a white kid, or somebody of even a darker skin color than this kid. But he don't have that sad story. And they'll give a decision to the one that's got the sad story. And you can't do that. It won't work in life. Ain't everybody going to run around here and kiss your ass and because you got a child with a disability. That don't mean that anybody should walk around here and attack anybody that's got a child with a disability either. Use a degree in common sense to what I'm trying to say. And that was just one in an abundant cast of circumstances that happen millions of times daily online that I happened to catch that I was like, this is crazy. It is beyond moronic. And it led me to the very scientific opinion that the father is a moron. But not in jest like we say. He's actually moronic, and moronic in act and thought. And I don't mean to be ugly by that, but can't know anybody with a normal thought process, that type of hypocritical action is not going to be withstood and untested. What you got so far, son?
I did 3 sets of this there.
Okay.
And 7 sets of push-ups.
All right. How many push-ups have you got? 70 or?
No, 140.
140. You want to try to go for 200 push-ups, or since we didn't have enough bag work today, Joe, stop when you want to. If you don't want to do 200, don't worry about it. Always pushing and pushing shoulders around here. But anyway, guys, I'm an old man. I don't talk like people in this world talk today. I'm not as much candy and tiptoeing and eggshells. I have no plans of being either. I guess time in jail could give me an attitude adjustment, but nothing much further and beyond that would give me much of an attitude adjustment. And we're just getting sick of the hypocrisy and not being allowed to talk. And don't fool yourself if you lean on the right, which we do lean right around here. And the reason why you shouldn't be all happy today, because you can call a spade, sunlight, darkness, or whatever. And you don't have to feel so bad about it now. In other words, there's a big anti-woke push going on from the right that has literally taken over, at least in the United States and most of Canada. But we've got to be careful, because there's an anti-woke on the right where you can't offend a Jewish person. You offend the guy that steals from the school social club fund, or steals from a Feed the Children fund, if he happens to be Jewish and you happen to call him out because him and a group of Jewish people went over there and stole from the child's fund, but you can't say nothing about it because you can't say nothing about them. And see, that's the wokeism that's going on the right now. And we can't have no woke and nothing. Everybody needs to damn well be able to say what in the hell's on their mind and what they're thinking. And the check and balance thing that needs to be going on is between men checking and balancing one another. That's it. You know, if I know you don't like talking about things that are purple, or you can't stand to talk about trees, all you got to do is let me know. And then when I get around you, maybe I don't talk about things that are purple or trees, you know. And maybe if I do, then if we want to take it, you're going to have to do something to shut me up. And maybe you can, and maybe you do shut me up. That's the man thing that's been lost in this world today. And that's what I'm saying. Men can't be men no more because you got crybabies running around all over the place. And folks, they're on the right. Folks, they don't come in a little homo 90-pound weakling's body all the time. Sometimes they're a solid 240 pounds and can bench press 400 pounds and squat there's much or more and can fight like the Dickens, but they're crybabies too. And you got to get past that. And that's what creates most of the problems that we have, including with me also, and including with you also. We can't handle something, so maybe we turn to drugs, maybe we turn to booze, maybe we turn to a gambling addiction or other types of addiction or things like that, medicines and stuff like that, because poor pitiful us can't handle something. And we got to fight that and quit thinking so worldly and being able to call out what we see. You know, just because I would love a child, I love children that have dyslexia as much as I do as children that don't have it, does not mean that I want people to have dyslexic children, that I don't want to fight it and call dyslexia out every time I see it to try to stop it and to identify the students that have it. And before long, you won't be able to say dyslexia in a school and give the extra help that's needed to these kids. And you may think, oh, well, that's extreme. Oh, let me tell you, they're trying to give little Johnny a sex change operation behind a parent's back in a lot of places in this world. So don't tell me anything's a far-fetched. Because the reality of it is nothing is far-fetched. What you got?
The 6 that I had left on.
All right, so we're going to call it quits at there. It's a little workout that we did today. And give Joe a little break, and it is a holiday here. And it's a holiday from a battle that the Colombians had with the Spaniards that resulted in their independence. And so it's a good holiday. Just hope they don't get drunk and go crazy all night long, banging pots and pans and whistling in the middle of the street at 4 o'clock in the morning. But we love you all. But there again, if anybody out there, please don't be offended by what I say. Try to understand what I'm trying to say. Because we've got to be able to talk and move in this world. We've got to be able to say, ma'am, are you okay? To a woman, or man, are you okay? To a man, and not run the risk of a combat veteran coming to end us and get violent with us. So that's why I said what I said. If ye be offended, then ye be offended. And Christ is King, Lord, and Savior up in here with all our imperfectness, and we hope He is where you are. And if He ain't, we unapologetically tell you we hope He will be. And we hope all you guys have a great tomorrow, which is Friday, and a great rest of your week.